Good day everyone, so we have another comparison to do. This orange car you're looking at is by Konami, and then I got this green one in the mail the other day. Where I live, the local government is a bunch of buffoons, and so there's 9% vaccination, and it's a 50% effective vaccine. So there's a government lockdown right now. I can't go to any stores and buy any models, so I have to buy everything online nowadays. And normally I would suggest you never buy this brand online because I've seen so many new ones with paint problems. So we're going to find out. I got this online and I have not opened it, so let's hope that the paint is nice on this one. I think it's a relatively recent release here. Let's find out. It's LV-N204. It's the Colt Galant GTO MR. This car was, I reviewed the Konami, so I talked about the car a bit back then. But just a review, it's, a car from the 70s, 1970 to 1977. It was designed by a Japanese guy that went to school in California, so I think a lot of the reason why this car looks the way it does is he was influenced by like the Mustang and stuff, and other muscle cars of the day. Alright, let's take a look at these photo comparisons here. Wheels are looking pretty good. The stripe looks good. Hood vents, right? No side mirrors though, but the other model doesn't have it either. I don't know if that's really a blank white license plate or if it's photoshopped out. If it is a real license, no, it's gotta be photoshopped, right? The guy must have driven it to the car meet. I was just gonna say, like, maybe TLV actually is accurate for a change. If they're trying to make photoshopped license plates, then yes, I guess a blank white license plate would exist. But I'm pretty sure these pictures here had real numbers on them, but for security, they were photoshopped out. I do have this one green one I found. I don't know if that's like a museum or what. Okay. Alright, so you compare it to the photographs. Now let's take a look at the model here a little closer. So the green itself, it's not metallic, it's just a lime green. It looks darker on my camera screen. I don't know what's going to show up on your screen, but it looks well, lime. I don't know how else to describe it. It's not, there's a little bit of yellow in it. It's not quite chartreuse, but it's definitely not as dark as my camera's showing, so I can't say. I can't relate this color to anything you can relate to in the real world. Oh well, sorry. Okay, so let's start with the wheels. Yeah, I mean, they look like the photographs. There's a little black opening here, but it's such a small thing on this model that I'm okay with it not actually having openings. Yeah, TLVs, this one. The TLV cars usually have suspension. The vans do not. The trucks do not. And so we got some silver paint here, and some sort of silver badge, I imagine, but it's just a black box. And then we have the marker here with the silver outline, so that's nice. The two body stripes are running along nicely, and they transition across the top of the back here, so that's a really nice graphic. There's a little silver key thing there, and the door handle as well, and it sticks out a little bit, the door handle. Let's see how good this text is back here. Yeah, well, I mean, you can read Galant. I have to assume that is supposed to be Mitsubishi, but I can understand why that's not legible. We got some, I don't know, these are probably fake vents on the real car. And then we got nice open windows, so that's great. I really like cars with open windows because you can see the interior better. And the silver paint around the window trim, so that looks pretty nice. Well, I'm trying to focus on that seat, but let's go into the interior this time around. Can we see much? I don't know what you're going to see on your video, but I can't really see much of it through my camera screen. My camera screen seems to darken stuff. So I am going to pull out the flashlight so I can actually see what's happening. Alright, so nice molded details is typical of, of a Kyosho, really. Unfortunately, there's no extra color in here. So this is the type of interior you'd expect on a $6 Kyosho from 15 years ago. Alright, the ragging on TLV is beginning, apparently. Okay, well, going to the front. The headlights look good, you know, nice clear plastic. The grille looks great, nice texture, good paint app, you know, nothing overrunning. The GTO is nice and legible. I don't know if this badge has color, but there's at least a bump of a rectangle there. Yeah, I wish there was something on the plate. And then nice little dots here for the rivets to hold the bumper on. And the bumper is a separate chrome piece of plastic, so that's good. The turn signals here seem nice because they're not only orange, but there's a little bit of silver around them, a little chrome trim. So that's a pretty good front end. Yeah, this is going in a little tiny bit there. I'm wondering, nope, that is the casting. So, yeah, then this black side here has a little bit of ribbing there. So pretty good there. This side of the car looks pretty good. No. See, what's this all about? I hope that can come out. Yeah, so, yeah, again, this is a brand new car, brand new out of the box, and it's got paint rash already. So this is another case where TLV just simply can't make a product look nice, even from the get-go. If this was 10 years old, I can kind of understand, but this model is brand new. I think it was released this year, am I right? Or please comment if you know when this model was released. Okay, Galant here. This, the old Mitsubishi logo looks good. And this is kind of weak too for this price. I mean, these are big taillights and they're just painted. Why aren't these transparent plastic? You know, this is something that I expect from the Konami, which cost probably less than $6 when it's new. Or this is something I expect from Greenlight or Auto World, which cost under $10 new. $6 to $10, right? These are okay, you know, they're small, so you can't expect them to have depth to them. The bumper is nice. You got 4 little rivets and this chrome piece of plastic. Window trim here is silver. The bottom, I see what's going on. So this thing was originally made back in 2010. So that would explain, you know, back in 2010, I guess it was pretty common to have painted on taillights. And, well, that's it. The tires, these are typical tires from TLV. It seems like TLV shares a lot of tires. Like, they all seem to have the same appearance. Maybe they have like 5 different tires. They're all generally like flat with a rib or 2 in the bottom, and then these tiny tread blocks are on the side. What I do not like about this brand is they're riveted together, so you can't really modify them. You know, these cars are asking for like wheel swaps or painting the interior, but unless you want to drill it apart, which I don't want to do on such an expensive model, then you just got to live with what TLV thinks is good. It's kind of like Apple. Apple just makes you do what they want, and that's what this brand is doing. That's a different story, right? Okay, well, there's some black paint up here. That looks pretty good. And then these little hood vents are painted nicely. The little white silver stripes or white stripes. I can't really tell. So that's nice. Boy, the wiper blades, they're just, are they actually there? I think they're molded. Yeah, they are raised a tiny bit. And there's a little bit of silver. But, you know, when you rewind back to the photograph, these wiper blades are much bigger, you know, and they're higher up. So I feel like that could have been molded bigger. Oh well. Alright, well, let's compare it to the other one here. So let's start with the front view. Yeah, Konami's got clear lights as well. It doesn't have the GTO badge here though. And the trim around these turn lights are actually part of the chrome bumper. It's interesting. I would say proportion wise this is more accurate. Looking at the real photograph, these look a little too small. Both cars have suspension. Well, if you're going to go off-roading, you want to go off-roading in a Konami. The TLV doesn't move as much. Alright, let's try the front top view. Yeah, there's extra black paint in the TLV, but I would say other than that, the hood vents look pretty good. You know, the painting, I don't know which shape is more accurate because I didn't pull up a top-down view of this car. I would have to guess it'd be TLV. They're supposed to get the cars in their studios. Now, the wiper blades, they're both kind of off. I like that these are bigger and more noticeable. It's just that wiper blades aren't actually situated in this fashion. You know, the blade should be relatively parallel to the arm, not 30 degrees off, right? There's no wiper blade ever seen like that. So these are more parallel, they're just almost non-existent. Both have silver trim, but this one is on the plastic. Yeah, the silver trim here is on the plastic, I believe. Here it might be on the casting. Okay, let's go to the back. Yeah, both exhaust tips are equal. Both have chromed rear bumpers with rivet marks on them, so those are equal. Both have white blank taillights, so that's equal. They both have the badging equal. But where Konami actually did a better job is they have plastic taillights, not red paint. So Konami gets the win on the back end of this guy. Let's try the side view. This is always the hard one. Try to focus somewhere in the middle. Both have silver on the door handles. Both have silver on the window trim. Both have the stripe that transitions very well across the back rear. So really the sides are equal. Oh, the badging, I guess, maybe. This one actually says MR on it. And that is on the real car. But TLV, they just have a rectangular box. So badging wise, I'm going to give it up to Konami. Let's see how legible this is. Oh, wait a sec. I think it says Colt Galant. Yeah. Yeah, so this actually says Colt Galant. This is rectangle Galant. So Konami did a better job. Except for the reflectors here. This is red with silver around it. This is just red. Both have keys. This one doesn't have a lock on the fuel filler door though. Wheel-wise, there's a little red dot on that one. I think the wheels, I'm going to give it up to TLV on this one. Mold-wise, it might be Konami is a little better because this little recess is better defined. It's only like half there. But color-wise, I think TLV makes it better because it looks like it's a silver rim and like a gray middle with a red dot. This is just all plain black, right? Okay. This has a window, so it makes it harder to see, but it's just a black interior, right? And no extra color, so it's an even wash, I would say, for the interior. Yeah. Maybe an extra point for no side windows with the TLV. And the bottom doesn't really matter. Tire-wise, though, TLV gets it for sure. Konami just shares the same tires, so I think these tires might be a little bit wide for the period. These might be, I'm guessing, more accurate. Granted, these are treaded, but it's a very generic tread. Although it is believable for the early 70s. And definitely more detail here on the bottom. Although I don't really care about bottom details so much. Both of them are riveted together, so both of them are not going to be easy to customize. The main difference is, I'm pretty sure this cost $6 when it was new. Right? And it's arguably as good. And in certain ways it's actually better. So, I mean, that's a big problem that TLV has. It just takes something that's over 10 years old and they mark it up 3 times, 4 times as much. And yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Which would you go for? it's the price versus value. If you absolutely love the car, I think like the front end of this TLV is much more precise. It's something a little bit, you know, the grill on this one is just too thick. It's too blobby and cartoonish. But I like that there's no license plate here. There's no blank plate. That just looks unrealistic. Yeah, and then, you know, the fact that this Konami... How's the paint on this guy? No, there's a little paint rash as well. But this Konami is 16 years old. This is probably 16 weeks old. Right? That's a big difference. 16 weeks versus 16 years. So in 16 years, I'm sure this car is going to look like a disaster. It's a possibility. The worst paint rash I have is by TLV. It's like a yellow Toyota van, if you want to look it up in my my previous history. I think it's called a Town Ace. Yeah, TLV Town Ace. Search for that. Alright. Well, so I'm afraid the bashing of TLV continues because they simply continue to let me down for the price. I mentioned this a lot. If TLVs cost, you know, maybe 10 to 15 bucks, that's what they're worth, really. They're not worth 20 bucks. They're definitely not worth 30 bucks. And then if you pay more than that, you're just wasting money because you can buy resin models with 10 times as much detail, in my opinion. But, you know, again, another thing I always say is die-cast cars are a luxury good. You don't need them to survive. So rationality maybe doesn't play a role in buying these things. Alright, so anyways, that's it for today. For now, I'm going to keep this in my collection. I like the color. It's a crazy, funky little lime green. Although I do like this orange one as well. I guess I'll just keep both for now. But someday I suppose I'll sell off probably the Konami. Unless the paint rash worsens. I mean, again, I don't know. In 2 years, we'll have to see what the paint looks like on these two. Alright guys, well, I'll have some more TLV reviews to come. Hopefully I'll see you then.